Well, organization is making a difference in the North Omaha community through fresh produce. Change of Omaha is a nonprofit working to tackle food insecurity in North Omaha. They were one of many organizations to receive a city neighborhood grant. It supports people who are making a difference in their community. Founder Charita Daly of Change Omaha tells 6 News the money will allow them to expand their community garden beds with more fruits and veggies.
We feel like that the COVID-19 pandemic and just with the different economic fluctuations, need was exacerbated in 2020, and then it has continued to grow.
The nonprofit plans to also use the money to grow their food pantry.
Summer's here.